Okay, so today we're going to cover two things. We're going to cover solenoid testing as well as voltage drop and pull down circuitry using a test light. So all three things are going to happen within this video. So we are using a power supply, as you can see, a little bit of a glare, a lot of glare. So we're using a power supply that's set up for 30 volts. And I have the max current set to 1 amp. It's only going to use about 200 milliamps. So we're going to be good on the current. And then we have our 36 volt solenoid. And on the solenoid, we have the power supply is connected to the positive side of the control side of the solenoid. I got nothing across the load. I'm not worried about the load on this example. And then we're measuring the voltage coming out of the coil, going into my multimeter, and then coming out of my multimeter back to ground on the power supply. And we have our test light connected to ground of the power supply so that we can pull down the circuit. We can pull down the coil inside and activate the solenoid. And when we do that, you're going to see the test light light up, and you're going to see a voltage drop occur over here. So right now we're about 30 volts, give or take. I'm going to go ahead and pull down the circuit. You can see my test light's on, and the voltage now is about 18.8 volts. And then I let it go. It's between 29.9 and 30 volts. But you can also hear the clunk. And then what you would do is you would take another multimeter across the load side, and you'd be reading continuity. So every time, right now would be OL on your meter, and then when you pull the circuit down, you should see continuity across these two large terminals. If you do, that could indicate a good solenoid, and you're going to want to do it, multiple times. Like, see? Like right now, this is a bad solenoid. I already know it's a bad solenoid, and right now, if we go too fast, it's not pulling it down. You can see the voltage drop is still there, but the solenoid itself is not activating. Now, if I let it cool down a little bit and I come back at it, it'll pull it down. So that's a bad solenoid, and that's one way you can test it. Pull it down first and then try to rapidly activate it. If it doesn't rapidly activate, it's probably a bad solenoid, because that's what's happening in the golf cart. The golf cart motor controller is this test light, and it's pulling it down to ground to activate the solenoid, and then whenever it has a safety issue or whenever you let off the foot pedal, you take the ground away. So if you're constantly giving it, foot pedal, no foot pedal, foot pedal, no foot pedal, eventually, if you have a bad solenoid like that, it'll stop working. And that's how you test a solenoid.